Well, I'm really pleased to have our next guest here on the Coach Rose Show. Man, this is an honor to have this young man here. This is Mr. Harold Red Allen and his son, Darius Allen.
Yes. Thanks for having us.
Hey, good, thanks for being here, my man. And Harold Red Allen is the father of Marcus Allen, Damon Allen, but not only them, Michelle, Michael, Harold, and Darius. Because he gets pub for the other two, but he had 6 kids, right, Mr. Allen?
That's correct.
That's right. So, Mr. Allen, this book you guys have is called that Darius wrote for you, with you. It's called Red, and it's Life Lessons from a Father. It is a great book, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Darius, you did a great job, my man.
I appreciate that. I really tried to capture my father's voice. Try to keep it simple, keep some perspective, and really put a highlight on family,
right,
and fatherhood.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, like each chapter I love because it says, who's helping steer your ship. We had follow my footsteps or choose your own path.
hey, my dad's always been straightforward.
Yeah,
and he's always, nowadays they call it real talk, but
right.
From his generation,
yeah.
he would, say it, tell it like it is.
Right. It's never too late or too early to call a family meeting. Right, Mr. Allen? What was that about? Tell me about that one, Mr. Allen. Never too late to call a family meeting or early to get stuff straight, right?
Oh yeah. Well, what happened? Me being the only son without a father.
Okay.
My father died when I was really young.
Wow.
So I grew up without a father.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got married and got these kids, I said, well, golly, I want to do something, to my kids that I never,
Exactly.
Yeah, they have nothing done, nothing. So that's why everything I did was I tried to do it correctly, raise my kids correctly. And looking back, I kept my kids so busy.
Right.
They never got into no kind of trouble.
Really? That's the key right there.
I told them, I said, don't you ever go in the grocery store without the money in your pocket.
Yeah. That's old school right there.
One day, Damon and Michael went to the store with them. There was a kid down the street on Newsom Drive, a neighbor. Damon, they had $5 piece in their pocket, but the other kid didn't have money. He went in there and stole something, and they caught him.
Oh,
yeah, we have that. We have that story in the.
Stole something, yeah.
We put that story in the book as far as one of my dad's many, lessons and philosophies and quotes that he's pretty much gathered from his time in Denison, Texas. Because I took it all the way back from Denison, and I wanted to bring it to present day.
Yeah.
And I think we did a good job. I think we.
Job.
I think we really shed a spotlight on the importance of family.
So Denison, Texas is North Texas, right?
Yeah, the last city leaving Texas is cross Red River. You go to Crawford, Oklahoma.
Okay. And it's called the Gate City or something like that? The Gate
City? Gateway, Texas.
Gateway, Texas. Now, you had an affinity for, they called you Chili Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that story.
Well, years ago, I loved chili. so I would go into the cafe all the time and I'd eat a bowl of chili. And so all my friends, they started naming me Chili Bowl. So I got that nickname, and they still call me that.
Wow, that's great.
So, yeah, the cool nicknames always start very simple.
Exactly.
Well, see, when I was 13 years old, I played baseball with all grown men.
Okay.
I was a catcher. So I played baseball all over Texas.
Okay.
When I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And that's how good I was. I played baseball against Ernie Banks.
Ernie Banks?
Yes. In high school, I played baseball against him, yeah.
Now, going back to the chili thing now, because it's Denison, Texas, is that where they make the Denison's chili, or?
It was made there, but
okay.
But this was a black cafe. I would go in all the time and eat the chili.
Oh.
And so they just started calling me. I eat so much of it, And so a friend of mine named Clarence English, he started calling me Chili Bowl.
Well, I have a lot of cans of
They're still doing it.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, when I go to Texas, everybody's calling me Chili Bowl.
Yeah, your running partner was a guy named Billy Ray, right?
Yeah, Billy Ray Grocery.
Yeah. And you guys ran groceries.
Yeah.
So explain that a little bit.
He was the next door neighbor. He lived across the street from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they ran, Darius, they ran groceries, and then they had a pocket full of quarters. It said,
Yeah, that was a fun chapter because we really got to really tap into my dad's childhood. You know, really just to ask him, you know, questions about what were the activities that you used to do back when you were a kid, and it's funny, you know, you hear the Cowboys and Indians, and then watching listening to radio. I mean, it wasn't TV; they listened to radio. So you know, I'm writing this. I'm appreciating it at the same time. I'm kind of tripping out just the history, and you know, it's a great blessing. You know, just the fact, like, even right now we're doing an interview. I'm the youngest of the family. My dad's 81, and this is cool. You know, this is a cool. You know, it symbolizes just us doing the interview together. Symbolizes family. So,
awesome.
but back to you were saying, you know, I just want to, you know, tap into his childhood, and you know, you know, he was fishing with a little makeshift rod and all that stuff. So I just wanted to kind of touch on. I wanted to bring some storytelling to the book. So
I did a great job. And this one I like here, Mr. Allen. Bring a lunch. This will be an all-day job. Tell us about that, my man.
Well, I was a carpenter, you know, and later on I became a building contractor in San Diego. But I would take Harold and Marcus, and sometimes Damon to work with me.
Oh, okay.
And I would, you know, I worked hard. And really, so when they got a little older, they told us that we don't want to be no carpenter. We all going to college. Learn something else. You know, we don't. Yeah, well, so it all worked out. You know.
So from Denison, how did you get to San Diego?
Well, I joined the Navy in 1951.
Okay.
And after I got out of the Navy in May 29th, 55, I had a cousin named Herman Smith living in San Diego, and he was a carpenter.
Okay.
And so I, you know, moved in with him for a while, and then I ended up staying in San Diego.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we got married in 1958.
Right, now that was a good story as well, because he started going to church, right, Darius?
Yeah. He through his cousin, he was, you know, went to Calvary Baptist Church.
Calvary Baptist.
And that was an interesting chapter to actually touch base on how my parents met,
right,
and how that union started, and just kind of, you know, how my dad actually pursued mom and all that stuff. So that was really fun. You know, that was a fun research. You know,
she was a songstress. Huh? She was a songbird.
Yeah.
Huh? You saw the choir, right? Can you explain that meaning with your future wife?
Well, she sang with that group for 45 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and they all come out of New Orleans except Charles Ray, and everybody else come out of Louisiana. You know, her father, you know, created it.
Okay.
He sang. Matter of fact, Herbert Johnson sang with the Blind Boys way back when. He was the first guy to take them all around the world.
Wow.
And he did that.
Nice.
And then he moved to California because he was a plaster houses. And
I think that actually helped out. I think that actually helped my dad.
Because they had something in common.
Yeah, they had something in common. So my dad was a carpenter, and then he was a plasterer.
Working man.
Yep. And they had a bond, you know.
Yeah, when I built my new house, moved in after I got married. Well, he plastered it for me.
Okay.
The
hookup.
Yep.
Awesome, man. So then after that, you know, you got married, and then you was living on, was it Clinton?
Living on Clinton Street.
Clinton Street, yeah. Okay.
Bought the two houses on the corner there, one on the corner and one next door on Clinton Street, 37 and Clinton.
Oh man. Okay.
See, and I wasn't even born.
Okay.
I just know Winston Drive. I just know Emerald Hills, Southeast San Diego, Winston Drive. That's where I come in. So even that part, it was kind of interesting stuff to hear, because that's where Marcus and Harold, they have more of that history. Like within the family, they can always go back to Clinton. But I don't have any idea of that part.
So that when you met your wife in the church, and then this chapter here, you can't be a king without a queen. I like that one, man. So you found your queen and you settled down on Clinton Street, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then you went on and had 6 kids.
Yep.
On the radio, no TV.
That's why you didn't have no TV.
You're right, no TV.
Boy, you know, Michael and Michelle are twins.
Twins, right,
Twins,
right.
yeah, they're twins.
Right.
So there was two at one time. Man.
So Darius, you came at the end. Huh?
Oh yeah, I came. My dad would always joke that I'm the last of the Mohicans. So
He born in 1977.
yeah, I came way later. Way later.
So then you got to see your brother Marcus and Damon play, though. I mean,
yeah, I was very little.
Yeah.
I remember being little, going to Raider games, and every Sunday we would drive up to LA, go to the Coliseum.
right.
We had the same seats pretty much throughout Marcus's career with the Raiders. So, I remember that kind of growing up. And then even when I was in high school, there was a little bit of the Chiefs when he went to the Chiefs. But I've always had a privileged position to kind of observe everyone.
Right.
And then because of that, I was able to have a good relationship, a different relationship with my parents. Right. So I had a good friendship. And I'm the only one at the house. So I was the perfect one. I was the perfect one to actually be the one to execute this book for my dad.
Right. That's awesome. You have any thoughts on that, Mr. Allen? About writing the book, with your son?
Oh, yeah, he did a great job doing that, yeah. And just looking back, he just did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Now, I like this one here, Darius and Mr. Allen. Allow yourself to be taken under someone's wing so you can learn how to take flight.
Yes.
That's awesome. Can you go into that one?
I think my dad growing up, they might not have used the word mentor, but they were there. And I think on that chapter, my dad was in a transition. He, was getting settled in San Diego, and he was trying to find out, what direction as far as what job. And that's where his cousin came in. And then his cousin introduced him to a working partner to be a carpenter. And I just thought that chapter was very important to show that, hey, we need help sometimes. But at the same time, you take that help to get on your own feet, and then you can take flight. So, I just wanted to touch on that. My dad, San Diego on the surface sounds like an easy decision. You want to stay here, but he had to have a purpose. He had to have a craft. He had to have some skills, and that was a chapter that worked out. To highlight that.
Any thoughts on that?
But looking back, what happened? A long time ago when I first got to San Diego, I didn't believe in bragging. After I left Texas and come to California, I didn't tell them what I played baseball, football, basketball. I didn't tell them nothing because they wouldn't have believed me if I had told them all that stuff. So when I hit San Diego and I started going down to Mountain View Park, and that's where I met Paul Robinson, Horace Tucker, and all those guys. They were playing professional baseball. And I still didn't tell them I played baseball in Texas. So then one day, when I was going to City College in San Diego, 6 o'clock in the evening to 9:30 at night, I met this white kid. He just signed a contract with Chicago Cubs. Oh. And so he was the one that got electrocuted in Redmond Naval Air Station.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's an old school story right there. Yeah, you're going deep now.
Happened, see, he told me, he said, well, I'm a pitcher. And I said, well, who's going to work you out? He said, well, I need somebody to work me out. I said, I will. I said, I was a catcher in Texas, He said, okay. He went and got the catcher's gear. Then we started going down at Mountain View. Oh. And once you start doing that, everybody else started coming out and watching this, And so Horace come down there one day, and I was waiting on this kid to show up. And a car pulls up, blew his horn, and Horace went over there to see what the guy wanted. And the guy, they talked, and he said, well, look at me, I'm in the here, I got to go to work. I'm running late. He said, I don't even know that guy you were talking to. Horace said, you know him? He said, hell yeah. He said, he was a hell of an athlete in Texas. Horace said, what? And so he said, tell him I'll see him later. And so he got
small world.
He took off, see? And so Horace come over there where I was, and he said, why didn't you tell me you was a hell of a sport in Texas, I said, if I had told you, you wouldn't believe me.
See, Dad, he was focused on work.
So I said, who told you that? The guy in that car right there. I said, who was that? He said, Clarence Ray. I said, oh, my God. I knew him. I played baseball and basketball against him, and he's from Bottom, Texas. And he's married to Hambone Williams' auntie.
Oh, Hambone. Was he playing with the Celtics or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I played against Hambone's uncles and stuff. They all come out of Bottom, Texas. And so he said, well, they come play. He played for Hamburg. I didn't know Hamburg. I know his mother.
Right.
But I hadn't met her sister yet.
Okay.
I met Harriet, but I didn't know this guy's sister, wife. And right after that,
What about carpenter? How you become a carpenter?
my cousin was a carpenter.
Okay.
Herman Smith. But what happened, then right after that, when I started really working him out, and
Right.
then one day you get a phone call, say, come out to Middle Naval Air Station and fix this electricity.
Oh man.
So he go out there, and he had a young man with him, and he go inside this building about this size here.
Yeah.
Right, maybe 3 feet wide, big shelf over there. All the doors was open. Wires was hanging all around. So he walked up to this one place and took an ice pick and he started chipping the wires.
Right.
And he hit 2 volts, like 40,000 volts.
Oh.
And he started flashing and he fell back into another 50,000 volts behind him.
Oh.
See, see, now you see where I got with my story.
and that electrocuted him.
Oh
Right there.
man, that's terrible.
So he never got a chance to pitch for the Cubs.
That's terrible, man.
He got electrocuted.
Well,
Yeah, see, I got all the stories.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just looking at this book, man. These different chapters are amazing. It's funny. In
Appreciate
fact, like the one, I know, raising a lot of boys. Like one of the chapters, I don't know about the birds and the bees, but I do know that no one wants to be lonely.
Hey, you know,
But you know what though? I was the only father in San Diego. I did lots of no other father ever did before. I was the only father that took my kids to karate class, signed them up, and I took karate with them. See, a lot of people didn't know that. See, then in 1972, I went down to 37 Ocean View, and I went to the barbershop, and there was a guy in the barbershop, and he'd been asking everybody, to be his partner.
Right.
He had that little bar in the corner there.
Yeah.
37 Ocean View. He took it over, but he didn't have no money to purchase nothing. So he asked me, would I be his partner? And I said, well, yeah, I guess so. And so I went to the bank, got $1,000.
see, my dad has stories for days.
And I went and ordered the beer and everything it took to open the place up so he started making money, see. And so one day I'm sitting in there and I hired 2 sisters, Billy and Sister Billy Joe would work for me, and another Doris was working for me. And so Doris was in there. And this guy would sit down beside me one day, and just like I said, nobody knew that I knew karate and a lot of stuff. And so I'm sitting there, and this guy started picking on me. And so I said, look, man, you don't know you messing with me. You better leave me alone. And so what he did, he just kept on.
Right.
And so he jumped up and run his hand in his pocket, and I hit him in the rib with my elbow, and then turned around and hit him right there, just above his ear with the other elbow.
See, these are the stories.
20 minutes, he was laying on the floor, and I got scared. I thought he was dying. After 20 minutes.
These are the stories that we would probably put in a bonus edition if we ever got, if we ever got to that point.
Mr. Hahn, I thought you were telling me about the birds and the bees.
I know, Dad. Dad's keeping it too real.
I don't know about that.
But about 15 guys in that shooting pool.
Yeah, the birds.
And they saw what I did to him and how I did it.
Yeah.
The word got out in San Diego, all of San Diego County. Don't mess with real. So really,
Hey, but Dad, the question about the birds and the bees, though. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The birds and the bees. That's just a very colorful metaphor.
Right.
My dad just went straight to the point. If you whether you're having girl trouble, he just tell you some straight advice, and he didn't sugarcoat anything.
Right.
Another one that I like that, kind of old school. My dad used to tell us too, my grandpa, if I don't know the parent, don't bring your friends around.
Yeah. You know what? That is something.
Right.
That is something.
That's how I kept my kids out of trouble.
Right.
My kids, like I say, nobody messed with them because they would get beat up every time.
But the key is but what that actually represents is community.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody has a connection.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so the parents know the other parents.
Yeah.
There's an easy line. Everyone is on the same accord. Everyone knows what everyone's about, and that should be something that's current today. You know, no kids should be hanging around other kids and you don't know anything about them.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so
My dad was like, whose kid is that?
yeah. You know, and my parents were very, fortunate to see that and stick to that. You know,
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, I was saying like, back when we were growing up, it was your neighbors could check you
exactly.
if you did something wrong, and now they like child abuse.
CPS.
No,
We'll call it CPS.
it's called discipline.
Yeah,
Right?
there was such a even for myself, there was such a respect level I have for elders that I would just listen. You know, if someone wanted to give me some to remind me if I was doing something that was incorrect or wrong, I wouldn't take that as a personal attack.
Right.
They're trying to help me out.
Right.
You know, so I think kids nowadays, everyone looks at stuff with such an individual.
Yeah.
It's me, a way to look at things. Where growing up, it was a bigger community outlook.
What do you think about that, Mr. Allen? About now, because it was you were instilling discipline in your kids, and nowadays it's not even seen as discipline anymore.
Oh yeah, well that's what I wanted to do. But I didn't want to be going to court and jail and all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's like I forget this police officer's name, but he was on the police force. He drove a black guy on a motorcycle.
Okay.
And he coached Little League baseball, and he coached Part 1 football.
Okay.
That's when they were doing it all at Lincoln High School.
Oh, okay.
And so one day we all came home and we was all working in the front yard. And Michael said, "Daddy, can I borrow the car for a minute?" Run downtown. And so I said, "Okay." So I give him the keys to the car, and he, left us to drive and hit Geneva.
This is about discipline, Dad.
Yeah.
Let him go, baby.
Yeah. So he took off on the freeway.
Dad's having fun now.
He did 110 miles an hour. Going downtown San Diego. And he passed by this black police officer that knew us. And so the guy pulled Michael over. And he could have easily took him to jail.
Right.
He knew Michael was my son. And he brought Michael back home.
Right.
And followed him back home, And we was all standing in the yard working and going and see this guy on the motorcycle, following Michael. And so when Michael got out of the car and he got out, come and told me what Michael did.
See, I guess it's good to know people, huh?
What he could have done. And I took Michael in the house and wore him out. And he ain't never did nothing since.
So I guess Dad wrapped it up to discipline. Yeah, I guess he wrapped it up to discipline.
He never did nothing else since. Nothing.
That's awesome. Now Darius, Pops coached, Little League and stuff in San Diego, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you touch on those years? The orange truck, right?
Oh, I love that chapter. I love that chapter because, he coached, and my mom was a team mom. Okay. But this is, mostly for my older siblings, right? But even to today, there's peers of my, my brothers and my sister, their peer groups, and their friends talk about the story of the orange truck, and they always tease my dad, like, "Where's that orange truck?" That's where I got the idea of that chapter. I mean, there were so many guys that were so appreciative of my dad just picking them up and kind of giving them that boost of love, or just that boost of support. And after years, that was still an impression. It impressed. It was a big impression on them, and I wanted that chapter to symbolize a lot of coaches. There's a lot of coaches in San Diego that give a lot of time. You know what I mean? And sometimes that will be appreciated later on when people reflect back of all the hard work. Because sometimes the coach doesn't have to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to. There's no obligation there.
Right.
But my dad just, he wanted to help the kids. He wanted to help people. He wanted to and be a good coach and a good father.
Mr. Allen, tell us about your feelings about the orange truck.
Well, that was I had my toolbox and everything on it, carpenter. But in Little League, after the Little League game was over, then and everybody had to go home.
Right.
I would just load up, take all the kids, drop them off at home.
It's an orange taxi cab.
Skyline.
Oh, yeah.
And one day, I think in the 70s, I forget what exact date it was, when it passed that law. No more riding in the backseat of the truck.
Done ruined that.
He stopped me because then one day the police officer stopped me. And he didn't give me no ticket.
He beat his ass.
He said, slow it down.
Censor.
He told me, slow it down. You're going a little fast.
Yeah.
And I mean, he could have given me a ticket, but he didn't. He said, well, you're doing good, you're taking the kids home and everything, but slow it down.
Yeah, we put that in there.
I couldn't take the kids home no more. They passed the law. No more riding in the truck.
Ride.
Unless you had seats in the back of the truck with seat belt and all that stuff. But that's why you don't see nobody doing it now.
Exactly.
Riding back in a pickup truck.
So you enjoyed your years of
I
coaching.
really did. And then one guy went to the pro, Mark McLemore.
Oh, Mark McLemore.
Yeah.
He was on our Little League team.
He's in Canton veteran.
And he went, when he played with me, he played in Canton Little League, he was second baseman. He went all the way to second base. And he played second base at high school at Morris High. When he left Little League at 13, started playing high school ball at Morris.
Right.
When he got to Morris, the coach couldn't teach him nothing.
he already had it.
He knew everything. And the coach asked me, "Who in the hell is your coach?" And he said,
"That started trouble now."
And the coach says, "Red Allen." Well, see, and the coach lived over there. See, I lived on Francis Street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on Ocean View.
Yes, sir.
Francis Street was a short street right there. That's where I lived. And the coach, he was part Filipino or something, But he lived on 35th Street, right around on the next block.
Right.
Francis Street. And I knew he knew me.
Right.
Yeah. But by that
he
time,
wanted to know.
Yeah. But he went, who in the hell is your coach? But he couldn't teach him. He couldn't teach him nothing.
Macklemore's a good, he's still a good friend of the family.
He played 9 years.
You must be talking about Lenny Arevalo. He was an old-time coach at Morris.
I don't know. I don't know. We don't want to say any names. Dad over here causing trouble.
Lenny's so slick.
Stirring up the pot. Man, Dad over here,
So Mark McLemore went
cooking
on
it up.
A great career.
Yeah, solid career.
He's still real good. He's still living in Dallas. They all come out of. He's only born in San Diego.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody else born in Arkansas.
Right.
So as far as the book, when did you start writing a book, or what made you want to start writing a book? Because I mean,
well, for me, I'm a screenwriter, so I've always been interested in movies and writing, and then I got to a point in my profession where I want to basically start writing novels and get all my creative stories out. And I felt that my dad's book was the perfect project to pretty much kill like 3 birds with one stone. His story was time sensitive. It's something that I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
I couldn't put this in another publisher's hands. I couldn't write it and send a manuscript out and wait 3 years. I wanted it to come out at a certain time. So, it was a process of interviewing my dad over maybe a year and a half. And then, we just wrapped it up. I picked the style. I wanted to get a certain voice, picked the pictures out. We did everything from front to back, the whole process, marketing. And, everything came to fruition, released it April 15, 2014. And now it's just, it's touching souls.
Just reading the chapters. I haven't even got into the book. Just reading the chapters just have me, just die laughing. So, where could our listeners? Where could I find it?
It's available on Amazon. Okay. 3 formats. There's the ebook, paperback, and hardcover.
You gotta get the paperback.
And it's Amazon is the perfect place. It's also in Barnes and Noble online also.
Okay.
And then
good for the holidays.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect.
You got to.
And it's a homegrown story too.
Yeah.
Marcus and Damon. We're talking about Southeast. We're talking about Lincoln. We're talking about Southeast Pop Warner. We're talking about Valencia Park. We talk about Cano. I mean,
All those places I played.
this is homegrown San Diego. So, you know, I think it's a perfect book for family, for fathers, you know, to put a spotlight on the importance of fathers. And to wrap it up, here's the deal. I mean, everyone looks at Marcus and Damon. They see the trophies, they see the Heismans and all that stuff. But the real story is where they get that foundation, where they get the strength, where they get the ambition, where they get the discipline. And it starts with Red Allen and Gwen Allen.
Right.
Chili bowl.
Chili bowl. Chili bowl in the house.
And it started with the Jackson brothers.
Michael, Tito,
No, the different Jackson brothers.
No.
We wrapping it up.
Oh, okay, but let me tell you this here though. I get on TV, I get on radio, and like ask the question, name me two sets of brothers that played, the football in the street, baseball in the street, and they all four of them went to college, and they all four of them played in professional football.
The Johnson?
And the people, Jackson. And the people, nobody can name them.
Wow.
Well, it's Marcus Damon.
It happened in San Diego. Guess who they are?
Who's that?
Monty Jackson, Terry Jackson. They went to the Catholic school.
Yeah, I remember those guys. Saints.
They live
they all
live right down the street from us. Yeah. We live at 1003, and they live this red over hilltop. See, and they played in the street together.
So all four end up in the pros, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah, let's talk about some childhood stories.
Yeah.
Well, everybody talks about Marcus, but Damon was just as successful.
Oh, Damon had an amazing career in Canada. Amazing.
He played till he was 42.
Yeah. Yeah, MVP at 42.
Right, the oldest MVP ever, and he was only behind Marcus 323 yards in rushing.
I know that right there is ridiculous.
And he threw for 72,000 yards, over 72,000 yards. Yeah, won 4 Grey Cups, and 3 MVPs. But he's just as successful. But you gotta get the book, man, because it talks about you had to buy a whole new mailbox when the coaches were coming out for Marcus.
Oh, that was a great experience for the family.
Exactly. And Barry Switzer came to the house.
Yep.
Your mom cooked for him.
Yep.
It's a neck bone and collard green.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you gotta get this book. It's called Red: Life Lessons from a Father, written by his son Darius Allen. And you have a very successful family. You did a great job raising these kids. And I just love your book, my man.
Can't wait for the movie.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. I'm going to have to play something in it, though.
I got a sister in the Hall of Fame, too.
Oh, a sister?
I got a sister in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Bert Cole is my sister. You ever heard of Bert Cole?
No, man.
Yeah, in Texas.
She's professional tennis instructor in Arlington, Texas.
Oh, man.
Everything that go through tennis in Texas, go through her.
So you're getting the uncut Red Allen right now.
Yeah.
So we'll bring you guys back for sure.
Yeah, we have to bring you back, Mr. Allen. You're good for like a
5-hour
5-hour show. You're good for a 5-hour show. Well,
Each week could be a show.
I want to thank
we got to make it a whole hour.
I want to thank our player of the week, Javari Ransom, and our Hogs and Dogs of the week from Helix, Stefan and Blake.
They did their thing this week.
And we'll be back next week. This is the Coach Road Show. My man Iggy, my man Armand, on KBLKradio.com.
All right.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Next week.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, let's get a